Hello YouTube, another older gun here again. This is a Stevens Model 70 visible loader. And these were in 22 short, long, and long rifle. It would fire all three. And they were made roughly the best I can seem to come up with online information. It's from 1907 to right around 1932 or 33. There's the Model 70 and the Model 71. The 71 is a little different. The frame is more, the hammer in the assembly is more humpbacked and pronounced. And these were, these were pump 22. They held 10 rounds. And the nickname for them was the miserable loader. And the reason for that was if they were not kept clean, they could be quite finicky and they would jam up. And it is a finicky action. You're not going to cycle this fast like you would, say, like a Winchester pump or a Remington pump. Those 22s you could pretty well get a couple rounds out pretty fast. These were not like that. They were kind of a unique design, and why they're called a visible loader is when you cycled the action, you could actually see the 22 shell kind of being suspended in midair, being brought up the magazine tube to the chamber. And how this actually worked is when you would fire a round, as you ejected the empty case, the next case being brought up from the magazine would extract and kick loose the empty shell. So when you fired the last round, the empty shell just kind of hung in midair and you had to pluck that one off the extractor by itself. There was no ejector. It was just simply the extractor. They're kind of a unique gun. As long as they're kept clean and well maintained, they will work. But they are finicky. They tend to be just one of those guns that, even though you hear a lot of people call them junk, they were made for a long time. They were made for well over 20 years. Which, if it didn't work, it seems like a long time to be making the same design. It's just they had their own little niche and their own little following, as they do today. Collectors are finally starting to really notice them. They're just kind of a unique gun. I took this one to the range today with some CCI standard velocity, and it cycled okay. It does need to be taken apart and cleaned a little better. I just got this. And it doesn't shoot bad. It took me a while to get the sights aligned. The sight picture on this is weird. It's kind of almost a rounded... The rear sight isn't set up like a normal V-notch rear sight. It's almost like a half moon, and your front sight, basically, as it's lined up, creates a semicircle. And once those are all in line, that's where the height is when it's on. And your windage is your typical left and right, no different there. But it's just kind of a strange setup, and after I got used to it a little bit, it's not bad. It groups really well. It groups nicely. But it's just, again, it's just a finicky, weird... It's one of those weird guns. It's kind of one of those things, you look at it, and you can't figure out why it was made. The inlay on this was put in by somebody else, and they did on the other side. It actually looks pretty good. But I'll show some video of it from the range, and you'll see it actually worked pretty good. Have a good day, YouTube.